In My Hero Academia, we've been explaining the full detailed backstories of the One For All users from the upcoming Ultra Age Databook, and after the first 3 users, the quirk was given to a hermit named Shinomori Hikage. Now, this was a man who backed away from society very early in his life due to the nature of his quirk, Danger Sense. This quirk would go off frequently and constantly warn him during the dark age of quirks, causing Shinomori to try to live out his existence in a quiet home in the woods, until he was eventually found by Bruce, who convinced him to hold on to One For All as long as he possibly could as a secret 4th user. And despite Hikage wanting to be all alone, he accepted this offer without second guessing it, all because he believed in the cause. For a long time while he trained, Shinomori looked for the next owner, and as 18 years went by, he continued to develop the power to new heights. Eventually, the cracks that we've previously explained appeared on his body, forcing him to give it off to Daigoro Banjo. Now, this guy was a legend who continuously fought All For One head on, even attacking the Dark Lord before he even knew about Banjo. Banjo became so notorious for these attacks on All For One that people who were smoldering all over the country would eventually join him, and that notoriety was part of the reason he was given One For All in the first place. What's interesting about Banjo was that despite the fact that he was known very well for being almost an anti-All For One revolutionary, it wasn't until he got One For All that he felt like All For One started to pay attention to him. Like every fight before was just a disturbance or some sort of game, but it all became serious once Banjo had the quirk within him. This didn't make him back down, as he continued to improve the quirk over a few years. However, his efforts inspired the next user, Tayutai N, to fight as well. As N says, Lariat helped him find the meaning to his life. To finally meet the man, N tried over and over again to track Banjo, also known as Lariat, down. However, Banjo continually avoided him to try to keep him out of this generational battle. Eventually, once All For One finally caught up to Banjo and had him near death, the villain did what he always does and blabbed his mouth too much, causing N to learn about the true nature of One For All, allowing him to create an opening that gave Banjo just enough time to pass the quirk over to N, telling N to just run away and pass it on. As N escapes, he does just that for years. However, eventually he gets tired of all the escapes, fighting, and All For One's obsession. Eventually, to support N, a large fraction of quirk users joins his side, forming the Neo Anti-All For One Alliance, and as we've talked about before, this leads to Nana Shimura's husband joining the group, where eventually All For One would find all of them. This led to the death of N and Nana's husband, as well as many others, but that brings us to our final 3 main users of the quirk, so let's discuss them next.